Thank you so much for the warm welcome, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for coming here today, and thank you to the Observer Research Foundation for hosting. The past 3 days, I have had the opportunity to visit your beautiful country. I and my delegation have met with His Excellency Prime Minister Modi. Almost exactly 1 year ago, we together formed the Green Strategic Partnership between India and Denmark. Actually, the first of its kind, both for India and for Denmark. I am both humbled and honored that India chose Denmark for this partnership. A partnership on the most important issue of our time, fighting climate change. In just a few weeks, world leaders from all over the world will gather in Glasgow for the next UN Climate Summit. It's a crucial summit this time, a summit that will reveal if we are willing to act and to deliver on the promises made in the Paris Agreement. Tackling climate changes may in many ways seem as an impossible task. But recently, it's like that the political winds have started to shift. I feel that there is a new belief. It's like there is a new urgency. And of course we can act on climate change if we want to make a difference and if we want to determine our own destiny. Today I want to talk about the big tasks ahead of us and how we can make it if we work together. The current situation is, as you all know and all aware of, extremely critical. The latest report from the IPCC has made it very clear to all of us. Climate change is happening, not in the future, it is happening right now. And unfortunately, it is happening faster than what we expected. The consequences are more serious than what we expected. And it will be more difficult to contain than we thought. Climate change is not a distant nightmare for our societies. Millions of people are already feel it. Extreme weather events, forest fires, heat waves all over the world. And therefore the climate change is without a doubt the biggest challenge for all of us. It affects us all. And it can only be addressed if we all do our part. If we take responsibility, each of us, and together. And I think my most important message today is that we must come to the only logical conclusion, that we must live, consume, and transport ourselves in a way that takes care of the planet and takes care of each other. That we must use our natural resources in a way that respects the need of the generations to come. It will require difficult decisions. But green economy growth, we need a green economic growth that will provide the same prosperity for the growing middle class in emerging economies that we enjoy in Denmark. It's also important for me to underline that green transition must uplift society, not limit welfare for people. I think that Denmark is proof that you can grow the economy and become greener at the same time. We have enjoyed strong economic growth and have managed to reduce energy consumption and greenhouse gas emissions significantly at the same time. Another key message for you today is this: we can make tomorrow better than today. Clean air, better lives, innovation, green jobs, sustainable growth, a green future. And all world leaders must show that they have the courage to make the right political decisions. Not next year or in 5 years, but today. And the question is there an alternative to this strategy? That would be more of the same, but with very terrible effects to climate change included. So that is not a real choice. It is not the choice of those who want a better future for their children and for our grandchildren. We need to push for green transition of the global economy. First of all, we have to set high ambitions. That is what Denmark did 2 years ago. In 2019, when I went into office, we made the decision to cut our greenhouse gas emissions by not less than 70% in 2030. We even adopted a climate law to make it legally binding. And every year we have, as a government, to present a detailed plan for stronger implementation to make sure that we stay on track to reach these ambitious goals, to ensure that we are actually delivering on our targets. Let me be totally honest with you. At that time, 2 years ago, we did not know how to make it happen. We made the decision, but we did not know all the measures. And to be honest with you, we did also worry a bit in that new Danish government. Was the goals maybe a bit too ambitious? Was it visionary or was it a bit naive? We decided to speak openly about this challenge. We did not have all the answers in advance. We had to build a green new highway while driving full speed ahead. It's a bit difficult to do that. But we made a choice. We decided to let ambition set the pace of the transition, not the other way around. And today I am very happy that we made that decision. From the outset, we were not sure which technologies were going to bring us to the goal. We knew we needed a kickstart, and to kickstart a green transition on the entire Danish society. Industry, production, transportation, agriculture. We decided to end coal in our energy production and to shut down our oil and gas production by 2050. We have invested heavily in developing new green solutions, more renewables, new research and innovation, and we have worked very closely with our private sector to make it happen. Now, only 2 years down the road, we are almost halfway towards our 70% target. So the political ambitions has driven innovation. Our ambition has moved us forward faster than what we thought was possible. So now we know that we are able to deliver on our ambitions. And we also know now that the solutions to get us there are ahead of us. Carbon capture, green fuels, green farming techniques, and of course expansion massively when it comes to renewable energy capacity, just to name a few of the things. Today, nearly 70% of Denmark's electricity comes from renewable energy. Almost 70%. But we have to do even more. In fact, we all have to do more. Developed countries and the powerful new emerging economies. We all need to step up and take responsibility for our common future, also Denmark. We are now planning new offshore wind farms. We will soon be building the world's first energy island with the ambition to supply millions of Europeans with green energy and to turn green electricity into green fuel, providing clean fuels for air transport, shipping, and industries that are difficult to electrify today. Next year, we will present new proposals for further greening of our industry and our energy supply, and for making more climate-friendly choices available for consumers. Affordable electric cars, clean sources of heating, sustainable farming products, green electricity. It will also create jobs, plenty of green jobs for local communities. Not everything can be decided politically, so we need the private sector, both in India and in Denmark, to be on board as well. That is why we have decided to form climate partnerships with all branches of Danish business. The private sector is a driver of change and innovation, and we need public-private collaborations in order to accelerate the green transition. We have had to make some difficult decisions as well. To be honest with you, shutting down our own national production of oil and gas in the North Sea, that was a difficult decision. That means leaving money in the ground, so to speak. Closing the last coal-fired power plants and putting a stop to financing fossil fuel projects abroad. Also difficult decisions. Difficult decisions because they change status quo immediately and that because they rock the boat a bit. But we hope and we think that these difficult decisions will lead to new opportunities, new jobs, and new sustainable development. I hope that some of our examples will also inspire others to follow, to let ambitions decide the pace of the green transition, and for some of us also to overachieve. Of course, setting some very ambitious targets and climate goals is not enough. We need to deliver concretely on them. I know this is important to India, as it is to Denmark. We don't just set targets, we deliver real change. And I think actually India is a very good example of this approach. In 2019, India decided to set the important goal of expanding its target for renewable energy to 450 gigawatts by 2030. And I think this August you crossed the milestone of 100 gigawatt. That is truly a testimony to Prime Minister Modi's leadership to renewable energy. And to quote Prime Minister Modi words at the UN General Assembly last month, when India reforms, the world reforms. With the Green Strategic Partnership between India and Denmark, we have a unique framework for cooperation. As Prime Minister Modi has put it, Denmark has the skills, India has the size and the scale. We already cooperate closely on offshore wind, on long-term energy planning, on integrating renewable energy. And we have now decided to expanding our cooperation to other areas as well: environment, water management, and urban planning. Areas where Denmark skills and know-how hopefully can facilitate an ambitious green transition of India. Denmark has more than 40 years of experience with green transition. I think we have shown that the green transition can be a driver for jobs and growth, not the opposite, as many people, of course, fear. And that it is possible to grow the economy and become greener at the same time. We have actually decoupled economic growth, energy consumption, and greenhouse gas emissions. For many years, people have said that this was not possible, that climate action meant reducing economic activity. We have proven them wrong. It is possible with this transition. In fact, since 2005, our economy has grown by 20%, the Danish economy, while our greenhouse gas emissions has fallen 34%. 34%. We want to share this experience and our green solutions with our partner countries. Of course, a green transition cannot happen without investments. Financing is key to reaching an ambitious result in Glasgow only a few weeks from now. And I would like to underline that the world's richest countries has to deliver. And of course, Denmark is ready to do so. We will scale up our grant-based climate finance for developing countries to at least $500 million a year. The poorest countries are often hit hardest by climate change. That is why at least 60% of our grant-based climate finance will be dedicated to climate adaptation in the most vulnerable countries. We would also like to mobilize more public and private finance from other sources to support the transition. In total, Denmark will contribute at least 1% of the collective global target of $100 billion. That is well above Denmark's share, but we are willing to do so, and we hope that we with this can send a strong signal that Denmark is fully behind the goals of the Paris Agreement, and maybe also to push some of our neighboring countries in Europe. So we hope this will inspire others to follow. Ladies and gentlemen, right now we must all focus our energy on COP26 in Glasgow. The world needs a successful result, and both India and Denmark has, I think, a very important role to play. Expectations are high, with good reasons. The IPCC report has increased climate awareness all over the world. People know that their future welfare and well-being is at stake. We cannot disappoint. We cannot disappoint. Therefore, Denmark calls on all countries to take responsibility, to set high green ambitions, and to put action behind words. We must deliver. Time is short, but at the same time, time is right. Thank you so much.